Lesson 6.3 is on elimination using addition and subtraction. In this lesson, you will learn to solve systems of equations by using elimination with addition, as well as solve systems of equations by using elimination with subtraction. Okay, so the only vocabulary word for this section is elimination. All right, so the steps to do this is to write the system so that like terms with the same or opposite coefficients are aligned. Step 2 is to add or subtract the equations, eliminating one variable, and then solve the equation. And then step 3 is substitute them from step 2 into one of the equations and solve for the other variable. Write the solution as an ordered pair. So we'll go into what that actually means by doing an example. Okay, so the key when you're using elimination, the method of elimination, you always want to have your variables lined up. So you want to have all of your x's in a row, your y's in a row, your equal signs together, and then your constants. Okay, so everything has to be lined up in order for this method to work. So if I'm looking at these here, what I want to do is I want to get 0. I want to get rid of a variable. So right now, looking at this here, if I add negative 3x and 3x, they cancel each other out, and I get 0x. So that's what I want to do. I want to add each of my lined up things. So negative 3x and 3x makes 0x, which is 0. 4y and negative 6y, when you add those, you get negative 2y. And then you're adding these also. So 18 plus 12 is 30. So you have negative 2y equals 30. From here, to get y by itself, you can divide by negative 2, and you get y equals negative 15. So you have y, but now we want to find x. So what you're going to do is you're going to take y and put it into either equation 1 or equation 2. It doesn't matter. So let's say I take equation 1, negative 3 times x plus 4y equals 12. I'm putting in negative 15 for the y. So negative 3x plus 4 times negative 15 equals 12. 4 times negative 15 is negative 60. So you get negative 3x minus 60 equals 12. Add 60 to both sides to get x by itself. You get negative 3x equals 72. Divide by negative 3, and you get x equals negative 26. So your solution is negative 26, negative 15. And that is elimination by addition. So you add the two equations after you have it lined up. Okay, for example 2. 4 times one number minus 3 times another number. So 4 times a number, we'll call it x, minus 3 times another number, we'll call it y, is 12. 2 times the first number, so now 2 times the first number, which was x, added to 3 times the second number, so 3 times y, is 6. Find the numbers. So we're just going to check, make sure everything is lined up. We have our x's together, our y's, and then our constants and our equals are all in the same spot. So we're okay. So now I want to either add or subtract this. If I add negative 3y and 3y together, when I add this here, they're going to cancel. So what I have left is 6x when you add 4x and 2x. And then when you do 12 plus 6, you get 18 over here. And those y's cancel. So you're going to solve for x here, and you get x is 3. Once you have x is 3, you can go back to one of your equations. You can use equation 1 or equation 2. This time I'll use equation 2, but it really does not matter which one you use. So I'm going to put in a value that I got for x and for the x here. So we have 2 times 3 plus 3y equals 6 and solve for x. So I get 6 plus 3y equals 6 minus 6 minus 6. You get 3y equals 0. If you divide both sides by 3, you still have 0. So the solution to this one is 3, 0. Okay. Example 3. Use elimination to solve the system of equations. So for this one, if I'm looking at these two equations, if I were to add them together, I would get 8x minus y equals 40, which does me no good because I still have two variables. I want to get rid of one. So on this one, instead of multiplying, or instead of adding them, if I subtract this equation from this one, so 4x minus 4x gives you 0, 2y minus a negative 3y would give you 5y, and 28 minus 18 would give you 10. So solving for y here, you divide both sides by 5, and you get y equals 2. So once you have your y value, same thing. You can go back to either of the two equations and plug in. So I'm going to use 4x plus 2y equals 28. Put in the 2 for the y, so 4x plus 2 times 2 equals 28. So 4x plus 4 equals 28. Minus 4 to both sides, you get 4x equals 24. Divide both sides by 4, and you get x equals 6. So the solution to this one is 6, 2. Okay, last one. A hardware store earned $956.50 from renting ladders and power tools last week. The store charged 36 days for ladders and 85 days for power tools. This week, the store charged 36 days for ladders and 70 days for power tools, and earned $829. How much does the store charge per day for ladders and for power tools? So let's use L for ladders and P for that. So for the first day, the first time, they had a total 36 times the number of ladders plus 85 times the number of power tools, and they got a total of $956.50. And then for the second one, they charged 36 days for ladders, so 36L, and 70 days for power tools, so 70P, and that brought it to a total of $829. So if I want to solve this, I can't add them because if I add them, nothing's going to cancel out, right? So I have two positives here on those 36s that have the same value. So instead of adding, I'm going to subtract this equation minus this one. So 36 minus 36 is 0. 85 minus 70 is 15p. And 956.50 minus 829 is 127.50. So to get p by itself here, I'm just going to divide both sides by p, 15. So I get p equals 8.5. All right, and then I still need to find L. So I'm just going to take that and put it back into one of my equations. So let's say I do 36L plus 70 times 8.5, putting in the P I just found, and that's equal to the 829. Okay, so then 825 times 70, this is going to be 36L plus 595 equals 829. So I subtract 595 from 829, and I get 36L equals 234, and then dividing both sides by 36, I get L is 6.5. So the number of ladders is 6.5. The price for the ladders is $650, and the price of the power tools is $850 per day. So your solution, 650, 850, and that's for L, P. Okay, and you can try some of the problems if you would like to get some extra practice.